Well, we were just talking about electrical stuff, Commissioner Henry and I. If you have an electrical charging station and you've got nobody else charging, then you can pull the full amount of current.
Oh, okay.
But if 4, 5, 6 other cars show up and they're all pulling electricity, then it lowers the overall amount of electricity that everybody can.
So if it's a double plug-in and 2 are plugged in, it's 50-50. It's not 1-to-1.
Yeah, okay. It's not 1-to-1 on those. And so it's when it's brand new and nobody else has one and nobody else is doing it, and you pull up and you get the full juice.
Right.
But now when all these people have these and you pull up and you got to wait 20 minutes because somebody else is charging, and maybe they went in to get something to eat and then they got to come back and then they got to unplug and then you got to...
Right.
It turns out to be
It's like the gas station times 10 when you're waiting in line and they go in to go to the bathroom and get water.
Yeah.
At least they're gone just for a few minutes.
Exactly.
You might be gone for an hour.
And I'm not really aware of the fact that when I'm pumping gas, the people on the next pump over, when they start pumping, we both go down. I don't know if that's ever happened. I think that happened one time at a diesel pump.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because me and Louis Derrick were getting diesel at the same time every day for a while.
Yeah.
And we couldn't both be fueling at the same time because then it would just run so slow. Yeah. And so okay, you go first today.
It used to happen in Cloudcroft. I remember as a kid, I'd run over to Allsup's real quick before we'd go home, and if 2 were pumping, it would take forever. So just fine, go.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
I'll wait. Yeah. So Louis and I were doing that for a couple of weeks there because we just both happened to be getting fuel at the same place at the same time. So
well, at least you had someone to good conversation.
Exactly.
He knows everything. So if you want to know something, he'll help you.
Yeah. So
he's pretty great.
You mentioned the gross receipt revenues. You had a number of other things that were discussed at the commission meeting.
So obviously this year we did have a surplus. We all knew that. We knew we were going to end up because we had no idea that oil was going to go so high. So we did discuss that quite a bit, and we're going to put that into kind of like an infrastructure type account. We've got a number of things we're talking about. We've talked about on the radio some decisions we're going to have to make on facilities, different stuff, and how do we want to start approaching some of this stuff. So this gives us a jump on that. We should have those good numbers at some point as what's in there, how is this going to work, and I'll be able to visit more about that in the coming shows, hopefully. But it does show that, once again, we're really focused on how do we make this work for the county. We've been using a lot of it in the last 2 or 3 years. It hadn't been as much, but we've had millions here and there that we're able to dump into the road system. I still get people, our roads are terrible, and I sort of disagree with that at this point. There are still bad roads, but they are getting much better. But we have been putting a ton of money into that, and it took a long time to catch up. When you get that far behind, it's not an overnight fix. So I'm sure some of that will go towards roads and continue those projects. We've got a number of those projects working. We've talked about them. We had Mr. Burns here a couple of shows ago talking about those. So good stuff happening with that. I'm really glad to see that we're going to have that and be able to use it for some pretty big decisions, pretty big projects that the county's really going to have to make. I mean, we're growing, which is great. And so we have to start resolving some of the things, the growth pains maybe that we've experienced. So lots more discussion on that, but yesterday was the vote to move it in, since we kind of have a final, the budget ended, the year ended, and all that good stuff. So really good discussion on that. I think more will come. A lot of the other stuff, we did some changing of positions. The fire department came, and they're going to try to hire 2 mechanics, just like everyone else in the country. We've got a big fleet. I forgot what they said, 100-something trucks across the entire county, and a lot of the companies we use to help with our fleet obviously are having the same problem of no employees, no one wants to work, all those good things. So trying to see if we can maybe find some to help with the small maintenance, simple maintenance type deals. I'm trying to think of the word that...
just a routine maintenance?
Routine maintenance, that's a better word than what I was using, but routine maintenance to make sure that they're up running. Anything major we might not be ready for yet, but or these guys might not, but we can get them trained to that point. So again, looking to the future and trying to resolve our own problems of well, how do we make it a little easier internally to where we could keep up and maybe a little bit cheaper in the long run. Good thing up in Queens, I know, talking about off-highway vehicles, we passed an ordinance in the county, it's been years ago, probably 5-ish years ago, 4.5 years ago, where you could use your vehicles. There's a bunch of rules and guidelines. Well, there's a state highway up in Queens that we had to get fixed, so I know Jason Burns and the sheriff have been working hard to get a portion. It's still maybe not exactly what you want, but and it's not completely finalized. We voted on it yesterday. It'll still have to go back to New Mexico Department of Transportation to approve it, but it's kind of their recommendation as well, so hopefully that'll go well. But I'll make it a little easier to where residents up there, hunters, they can leave that campground and maybe be able to drive on that road for a second to get to their trails or whatever.
Okay.
So that's coming, that's working. I know that's been a headache for a lot of those residents up there. That's still in progress, but it looks like we're a lot closer to maybe getting a resolution for them. That's something that Commissioner Beard pulled off the consent agenda and we talked a little bit about. And like I said, is it exactly what everybody wants? No, but I think it's a lot better. At least it's something. We're moving in the right direction. I know the sheriff has been up there quite a bit trying to help people understand the rules, how it works, and all that good stuff to keep everyone
So what are people doing that has got the state concerned? Is it driving their ATVs on state highway?
On their state highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the state doesn't allow that?
I don't really understand what they've done because I don't think we were on the radio when we were talking about this, but one of the things that the state did a few years ago is they put it on the cities and counties to decide, do y'all want off-road vehicles on your roads? Now, when we say roads, so if in the county's example, all county roads, we would allow it, right? With certain rules and all that good stuff, or you wouldn't allow it. And the city's the same thing. The city can either allow it or not allow it on their roads. So I'm assuming all state highways are exempt. And so you have to get these special requests or permits through the state to say, hey, we want this small portion. And I guess a thought, like if I was looking at Ruidosa, their main street through town, I'm assuming that's a state highway. I could see how they might try to lobby and say, hey, we want this 3 miles to allow it to move over. A lot of those tourist towns, Cloudcroft would be another example. Maybe there's a few miles. In the cities, I could see how I would probably lobby against a lot of them on our 2 state roads because there's so many trucks, so much movement. But up there, you're up
Right.
there you're up there to run your OTVs for the most part and off-highway vehicles. But so yeah, I'm assuming in the state you've got to go get special permission on those, even though it's legal within counties or cities, whatever your rules were. But those state highways, you've got to get these special consents through it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll get that through because I could just see that being if somebody wanted to make some money writing tickets, they could just sit up there.
Well, and
during
it's
hunting season.
Some of these spots, that's why you're up there.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like it's a major. You don't have 1,000 cars running through every bit. I mean, there might be 1,000 cars up there maybe this month. I don't know. So, it's a little, but it's an inconvenience, and we need to get it resolved for everyone and make sure we do it right. So, but they've been working great. I mean, our New Mexico, our District 2, we do a great job, have a great relationship with them, and they're very helpful in getting a lot of this resolved. So we just have to get it resolved. So that's one of the things that I know a lot of folks, and it does affect us down here because a lot of residents from the county, both cities and everywhere else, I'm sure like to go, and it's a really popular place to go run your off-road vehicles and have a great time. It's beautiful.
But if you're trying to get from point A to point B and you have to cross a state road, then that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, and the sheriff was really good at explaining, and that would be a great thing for him to visit with online, because I know I didn't know a lot of the rules, but he kind of went through some of the things that you can do if you do come up to a state highway. Here's what you can do, what you can't do, and trying to help educate the public on how we approach those things, because you're gonna, no matter where you are, there's weird state roads that just they think they're counties, but they're really not. And you run across them.
So. You sure do. And then a lot of these are advertised or promoted. These vehicles are as street legal.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? I mean, they may have the brakes and the lights and all the other paraphernalia that make them street legal, but they still may not be allowed on the street.
Right.
Even though they mechanically would comply with most of your city or your
And I don't.
driving rules.
I'm with you. I don't really understand what designates it as a what, because I see those. I think they're called spiders or something. Those little three-wheel. They're really cool looking. They don't look super safe. I want one, so don't get me wrong. I really want one. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
But they're running up and down streets in these little smart cars and all those things. And then I look at the Polarises and Gators, whatever it is, all the
I mean, they're big.
off-road. They're
Yeah,
huge.
huge.
They got bars. They got doors. They seem just as safe. So I don't personally understand the difference.
Right.
That's just me. I'm sure there is something out there that tells me the difference, but like I look at Jeeps, you can take doors off Jeeps and they're street legal. So I don't.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody just needs to buy a license, make some money for the state, and be done with it.
Yeah.
This is my street license for my street legal
Yeah.
ATV
Yeah.
that allows me permission to be on the street.
And they go fast. They go
Oh, yeah,
60
they
to
do.
80, so it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like you can't keep up.
I know.
I don't know that I.
They're pretty amazing vehicles.
Yeah,
is
they
what
really
they
are. So, anyways, that's a big discussion. That's something we're working on, and and hopefully we'll get that.
and believe me, I'm not promoting a license.
Yeah.
I'm just saying somebody up there is the light's going to go off and say, we
Yeah.
can make some money with this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what's
No.
going to probably change it
Yeah.
at state level. That's good.
Yeah.
We've got about 2 minutes left. Was there?
For the last 2 minutes, I know I said it in my city deal as well because but it also came up in county yesterday. The BLM is doing their
Cleanup.
That's the counties involved, the cities are involved, the businesses are involved, everyone's involved, and this is a good way for Artesia to compete against Carlsbad, obviously, which everybody enjoys doing. Good friendly competition, but also businesses can join in. That's a huge deal. Plus, it really helps the county. It's shocking, when I'm driving around, no matter where you are in the county, and I don't understand if they're throwing them at signs. I don't grasp it yet, but there'll always be glass bottles by signs, like a bunch of glass bottles. And I hate it. I hate to see it. I hate to see it in our cities. I hate to see it everywhere. I don't know why people can't clean up after themselves, but they can. So this is a wonderful opportunity to jump out there. I'm going to keep talking about it until it's over, because please get on their website, take a look. I know I've going to share some stuff as soon as they get it ready for me to
the
share.
website is ready, so.
Is it ready now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send you a note.
Yeah, folks, get out there and it'd be fun. I know a lot of businesses. I think Carlsbad, what Commissioner Beard was saying, a lot of their businesses are getting teams together to go do it, and they've identified places to go. They've made it simple to where you take a picture of the bag you cleaned up and a picture of the you'll know the name, the SKU, the
QR code.
QR, thank you.
Yes.
The QR code, the trash, throw it in the trash can and go home. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to do a lot of great stuff for the city and the county. So
Yeah.
I really encourage people to do that.
I'll send you the link because we've got to put
That'd
it
be
up on
great.
our place too, because it's kind of an oddball address, but it works.
okay.
It works.
Okay.
It does great.
Good.
Commissioner, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you next week, hopefully, as the mayor.
Be here.
All right, here's the news.